Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are, and welcome to the Saturday show. I'm Carl Edwards Levy, as your host as usual. We've got some mouth-watering games that we're going to talk about in the next hour of the show, and review some of the games back in earlier this week in the Champions League, in the Europa League, and the Conference League as well. And we also talk about some interesting news about what's going on with FIFA are looking to expand the World Cup in 2030 to 64 teams. It's crazy, right? But you already know what's happening. We're going to be going up to 48 teams for the next World Cup next year. But this is going to be interesting debate as well. But before we get on, let's get us some fixtures for today. So later on in the Premier League today, we've got a 12:30 kickoff between Nottingham Forest against Man City. Later on in shortly, Brighton against Fulham at home at 3 o'clock, and also each try to go away to Crystal Palace. While Liverpool against Southampton at 3 o'clock, and then the 5:30 kickoff between Brentford against Aston Villa at half 5, and at 8 o'clock tonight as well, Wolves against Everton. And only one game in the Scottish Cup quarterfinals today. The giant killing team Queens Park who beat Rangers in the last round. They go away to Pretoria to face Aberdeen later on. Two 12:30 kickoff games in the Championship. Coventry City are at home to Stoke City. Millwall go away to Watford. In the 3 o'clock kickoffs later on today, Hull City are down to the West County to face Bristol City. Burnley at home to Luton Town. Burnley could see the first goal in this past week against Cardiff as well. Derby at home to Blackburn Rovers. This is the John Eustace derby. This is going to be interesting to see how John Eustace left Blackburn to go to Derby County. This could be a risky move as well. Sheffield Wednesday are down at Plymouth Argyle. Sheffield United at home to Preston North End. Uh, Sunderland against Cardiff City. Swansea at home to the Middlesbrough, and West Brom against Queen's Park Rangers. And in two games in League One in the 12th kickoff, Crawley Town against Reading, Stockport County against Sheffield Athletic, Blackpool go away to South Yorkshire to face Barnsley, Birmingham City against Lincoln City, Huddersfield Town playing way down in the West Country County against Bristol Rovers, Burton Albion against Bolton Wanderers, Shrewsbury Town against Shrewsbury Town away at Exeter City, sorry, Leighton Orient against Northampton Town, Wycombe go up to Peterborough, Stevenage home to Mansfield Town, Wigan Athletic against Cambridge United, and Wrexham against Rotherham United. And in League Two, two lunchtime games kicking off earlier. Wimbledon against Notts County, and then Grimsby Town go away down to Walsall. Bout home gets to Accrington Stanley. Cheltenham Town against Colchester United. Chesterfield against Newport County. Fleetwood Town against Port Vale. Bradford City go away to Gillingham. Carlisle United go away to West Yorkshire to face Harrogate Town. MK Dons against Morecambe. Salford City against Crewe Alexandra. And Tranmere Rose against Bromley. 12:30 kick-off today, a local game between Barnet against Dagenham Rangers in the National League. Woking to go away to Boston United. Halifax Town against Town. And York City at home against Forest Rovers in the 5:30 kickoff. In the Scottish Championship, Adronians against Hamilton. Dunfermline go away to Falkirk. Green at Morton go to home to Ayr United. And League One, Arbroath go to Alloa. And then go against Stranrath Queen of the South go away to Cove Rangers. Inverness, Cali Thistle away to Dumbarton. And Celtic Hearts against Montrose. And in League Two, Bonnyrigg Rose against Edinburgh City, Clyde against Fife, Elgin City against Forfar Athletic, Spartans against Stirling Albion, and Strabane against Peterhead. And going into the European games later on today, La Liga, uh, Valencia against Real Valladolid at 5:30 kickoff. Valencia still in a relegation battle, and Barca at home against Osasuna as well. In the Bundesliga, Bayer Leverkusen against Werder Bremen, Bochum go away to Allianz Arena to face Bayern Munich, Borussia Dortmund against Augsburg, Holstein against Stuttgart, St. Pauli go away to Wolfsburg, and Freiburg against RB Leipzig in the 5:30 kickoff. Key games in the Serie A as well. Lecce against AC Milan at 5 o'clock, while Monza go away to San Siro to face Inter Milan. And in League 1, PSG go away to Rennes. Lille against Montpellier at 6 o'clock, and then at 8:05, Marseille against Lens later on as well. And let's go into Sunday's games. So three games in the Premier League tomorrow. Leicester City go away to Chelsea. Tottenham Hotspur against Bournemouth, and then the big game at 4:30 between is Manchester United against Arsenal. We'll talk about the team news ahead of that game as well. And in the Scottish Cup quarterfinals, Celtic against Hibs at 3 o'clock, and then one game in the Championship leads our way down to Fratton Park to face Portsmouth as well. In also in the La Liga as well. Real Atletico Madrid go away to Getafe. Real Madrid home to Real Vallecano, the local Madrid derby. And then the 8 o'clock kick between Real Sociedad and Sevilla as well. Eintracht Frankfurt against Union Berlin in the German Bundesliga. And then in Serie A tomorrow, some key games. Napoli gets Fiorentina at 2 o'clock. Roma go away to Empoli at 5 o'clock. And a big game between Juventus against Atalanta at quarter to 8 as well. And on to Monday's game, only one Premier League game is West Ham against Newcastle United, and then one in the Scottish Cup quarterfinals. It is Livingston against St Johnstone. That will be the final week as well, and then Udinese go away to Lazio in Serie A, and then Espanyol against Genoa at on Monday night as well. So that is all the fixtures we'll talk about as well. But let's start off with early this week in the Champions League, and what a win for Liverpool as well. Before we go that, thank you, Chris. Here is Carl Levy to bring you through the games. I love that. Appreciate that. Good morning to you, Chris. Up the loose, and that's for Doug. Yeah, hopefully they can get to the semi-finals. I hope they do. And hopefully Hearts will face against them. That will be an interesting game if at Hampden Park. It really is. But let's go to the Champions League game, and what a win for Liverpool. It was a smash and grab performance for Liverpool against PSG, winning 1-0. I have to say, a goal from Ahab, who struck 46 seconds after coming on to substitute to secure a 1-0 win advantage. And yeah, I have to say, it was the ultimate smash and grab. I think Allison has probably his best game of his Liverpool career. To keep as well. Yes, Chris, you are free to join. I would like to have you join. I will send you the link to you now, and then you can join in. So yeah, appreciate that. Really good to hear from you as well and give your take on it too. So yeah, so we should have Chris Welsh joining us shortly as well. So yeah, we'll have he give his response on earlier this week in Liverpool's performance as well. So yeah, it is what a week it was for Liverpool. His 9 saves was the most by a Liverpool goalkeeper since up to start the recording data in 2020, 2003, 2004 season. Yeah, a really good performance from Liverpool, really was. And to get that win, against a PSG side who was very had his chances, and they should have taken his chances completely. But unfortunately, they did it. But I say Javier was being frustrated, not getting enough game time since he's been out injured. But he got the win. He got the winner in the game, and I think this is it'll be a good second leg coming up there in the fall this week, following week, this week coming. So yeah, it's a good performance for Liverpool to get that. To get that advantage to take back to Anfield as well. Yeah, it was a good performance from them, really was. So I would as I said, we should have Chris Welch joining us shortly. He's just getting himself ready to come on. We'll have him on. Um, I have to say it was very one-sided, and Liverpool only scored all shot on target. That was the only thing. PSG had 27 shots in the match. That's the second most in record after you know, in a knockout match where they both fell score loss, and that only happened to PSG themselves just last season after they had the 30 attempts and they lost 1-0 in the semi-final to Borussia Dortmund in the semi-final second leg. So that is, yeah, quite interesting, that one as well. Liverpool won this round despite having 25 fewer shots than PSG. Yeah, that's a negative joint lag is negative difference. And Red Flags put 20 in as a fifth time as well, and they'll concede all this one goal. So yeah, as I said, what a win for Liverpool. So Chris, you're welcome to join us. I have sent you the link in the chat as well, and he's here. Good morning, Chris. How you doing? Over, Chris. Can you hear me? He's just trying to get himself sorted out. It will hopefully he should have himself muted as well. But yeah, hopefully we'll get Chris on in shortly a second just to make sure he's mic'd up. Chris, I hopefully you can hear me. Are you able to unmic yourself? hopefully we'll try to get him on shortly as well. We'll just have a bit of a technical difficulty as well. Should we have him on shortly? But going back to Liverpool, I think that was a huge win for Arne Slot. The performance of what he's had to do earlier today as well. So early this week ahead of Southampton as well. We should have Chris back on. He's just having some technical issues at the moment as well. So I'll try to send the link again to make sure he gets through this time if there's any issues at all. But yeah, what a win! Like I said, PSG the shot map as well. Liverpool had two shots, only from Diaz that went wide and Harvey Elliott, where PSG just had so much effort, where they had so much shot on target as well. So yeah, you know, Liverpool got away because of Alisson to get that win. They could have lost really, with the goals, the shots on target that PSG had. So, you know, and hopefully we'll have Chris on again. Chris, are you able to hear me? We still have technical issues. Oh,
Oh,
I can
don't you hear me now?
morning, Chris. How you doing?
I don't know what happened there.
No, 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 neither do I. I've had some technical issues from the start when I was trying to go live, but I'm glad you're on. How you been doing?
Yeah, I've been good in terms of the Liverpool fan, but Harrow, yeah, a bit of a different emotion, but it's both at the same time. It's getting better.
Good, good. Listen, let's talk about Liverpool win tonight. That was a smash and grab grip game, Chris. How did you come away with that with only having one shot on target?
Uh, Only maybe Jesus Christ will probably tell you that, but uh, you know what? It don't really matter, does it? Storyline, don't lie. It happens in football where he didn't. We're seeing Sean as well, and the under the game went on. I was like, we're not snats it here, and to see it, and I think first half PSG they had better chances in the first half than the second half. Second half was more pop shots where from outside the box, and I think that's a 2 pure for PSG down to the second yard. Because if it was 0-0, PSG would still be disappointed, but 1-0 down, down to Anfield in second yard, it's your worst nightmare.
Yeah, it is. Especially they had like nearly 29 shots on target. Well, the game Liverpool only had a fewer than less than the negatives. So, in that case, was that a well performance from Alisson to keep Liverpool in the game? In that, because I think he deserved. He was a player of the match for that game for his performance. To have to save 9 saves in, which is the most for opposition goalkeeper for Liverpool.
Yeah, I think Alisson's man of the match, but there's always that saying: if your goalkeeper's man of the match, it's probably not a good thing. and uh, but you have to give credit to our defence as well. I thought Tanate, Van Dijk were good. Well, they were always going to be good. Trent and Robertson, they were they were getting done 1-on-1, but I still thought they were quite decent defensively as well, winning the duels as well. And I thought the midfield and the attack of Liverpool were poor for me. I think the midfield they played a lot of games having this, so I think today is a good opportunity, and I will get on to that. Then Southampton, good opportunity to rest that midfield, and still good enough to beat Southampton. Uh, but but the forwards for Liverpool in the game at PSG, they were quiet. Uh, I like what Scott did for Salah. Like he gave him 10 more minutes, and then he didn't do anything and just brought Javier on. Uh, Fair play to anyone who put a bet on Javier to start. and and you know what? The subs made a difference for Liverpool as well. they twined us through that day. Endo, Jones, even Darwin Núñez. Who would have thought that?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely as well. Liverpool quite lucky from after the when for PSG score from Kvaratskhelia, and he was offside after his heel was actually. He was quite lucky that you're lucky that the VAR came into effect and that he was offside by his heel, and also and so Konate avoided the red card after shoving badly Barcola outside the box. That was quite lucky for Liverpool not to be. They were not down to 10 men and being a goal down at the time.
Uh, Obviously, the offside one was obviously the heel, so I do think we got very lucky with that. That his heel was offside, but it was offside, so it's not our problem. And the Tenate one is a debatable one for me. Debatable one because with the Tenate foul, when you push, it wasn't like a CI tackle from behind. It was just like a push where you
Yeah,
and that's why I'm a bit debatable on one. Is it enough to be a red card? Maybe a yellow card. I'll agree with that. If it was in the box, then yeah, probably penalty definitely. But I think it was just outside the box. It's probably why it wasn't a red card. I don't like these pundits saying, "Oh, it was a definite red." No, it was a debatable one. It was a debatable one, and you just never know. If we went down 10 men, the storyline would have been probably different. But then last season we won games with 10 men, so might have actually kicked us off the backside. So, but to be fair, it's one of them. I don't care about the result, and it's all if buts maybe. And if your aunt was your uncle and all that, and so yeah, it was a bit debatable one. I wouldn't argue if it was a red, but at the same time, I'll be saying, is it really a red card for a push? If But like I said before, if it was a shy tackle, then yeah, obviously definite red card. So it's one of them in football. Like all teams that widen up, and yeah, it was a smashing grab, and we will definitely take it.
absolutely as well. Absolutely. Let's go to the other English clubs in the Champions League. Chris, listen, we talked about Arsenal quite a lot. Myself and Doug about how that club they beat PSV 7-1 at the Philips Stadium. Listen, you know what we said about Arsenal last week because we talked about last week how what doing. Despite they got a game against Man United tomorrow, a big game for them to try to stay in the attack for the you to stay in the attack race to get close to you guys. Do you think Arsenal been lucky with this draw against PSV? Especially they've not had yes, they did beat PSG at home in the league stage, but to be quite honest with you, Arsenal just blew it away by the first half completely when they were 3-1 up, and then just within after the 2 minutes after half time, the game was already done.
Yeah, I do think it's that a one off for Arsenal. We'll wait and see, and I think Arsenal should be given credit for that win because they played with freedom against PSV, and it's like in that game they just like abandoned the usual tactic where they go 1-0, 2-0 up and defend the lead. They just went all out for it, smelled blood, and it baffles me how PSV knocked Juventus out. If they would have had Juventus Arsenal, that wouldn't be the storyline. It would probably be a more closer game. And they're just a weird team, Arsenal, this season. Like they didn't beat Man City 5-1, and then they didn't get beat off West Ham 1-0,
Mm.
and then beat PSV 7-1, and it's a pattern here. It's done me a pattern, and obviously I think we'll speak about the Man United game at Arsenal up here tomorrow, and it would just be typical Arsenal. They don't win that game tomorrow against Man United. With how bad Man United been, everyone's actually been saying this, that what's Man United their result? Because they did it in City and they did it at Anfield this
Yeah,
season as well.
yeah, absolutely.
And I think Arsenal, all they've got to play for now is Champions League. They're not going to win it, but that's all they've got to play for now. I think they've resigned to the Premier League now. It's far too big of a gap. And what Arsenal, they would need to be perfect for what the whole season, remaining of the season now. And I don't see Arsenal winning all the remaining games. We've already seen this season that they're not the same Arsenal as last season and the season before. And we can say why they're not, with injuries, etc. But everyone has injuries. And I think obviously Arsenal, job done against PSV. They can rest their team for the second leg. And in the quarterfinals, that's where the journey will end, in my opinion. Whoever it is against Real Madrid or Atletico Madrid.
Yeah. It could be interesting how who they play in the quarterfinals. We should get the draw round after Wednesday night completely, Chris. Let's go to Aston Villa, Chris, and they went to Club Brugge early in the league stage, lost 1-0, but they came out in the last 16 to beat them 3-1. I have to say, probably give props to Tyrone Mings because he gave the penalty away for the handball back in November, but he made probably one of the best goal line clearances of his life to keep Villa in the game, and they got the win. And do you think that was a huge better pause display for Villa after the last couple of games they've been a bit up and down recently?
Oh yeah, definitely. Revenge is sweet for Villa, isn't it? Obviously from the need fades, Prue's beating them. Club Prue's been the surprise package.
Yeah, they have been. And I like their player. I think the younger player who I've liked, Tabali. I think he's going to be hopefully don't overhype him as the next Eden Hazard, but the quality from a young player, I think he's going to be up there. But will be linked by a lot of European clubs this summer.
Yeah, definitely. And it's Unai Emery again. Unai Emery loves knockout football. Uh, they're in the FA Cup still. Got a huge chance of winning that with it being a knockout format. He loves hooping. He loves hooping football as well. Unai Emery. Liverpool or PSG could potentially get Aston Villa in the quarterfinals. I think that's a good year to take in the second leg. I think I don't see Club Brugge turning that around now. I think Aston Villa that job done in the second leg, and it's a credit to Aston Villa, good turnaround. As you said, Tyrone Mings doesn't make that clearance. It's 2-0 to Club Brugge, and he got into that second leg at Aston Villa probably 2-0 down, or you never know, 2-1 or whatever. And and it just shows what can change in football. Once that happens, it's a great turnaround. So I think they're through now for me.
Yeah, I think so as well too. Let's go to the other results as well. We got to talk about probably the team that could get to the final, Chris. It's Inter Milan. The beat final 2-0. I have to say, Thuram and Martinez, they're probably the best striker duo we've seen in European football the last couple of seasons. And especially after when Inter Milan, lost to Man City 2 years ago in the final 1-0. Do you think they can get close again? I have to say, whatever Simeone Inzaghi does, he just finds this 3-5-2. It just works for them so well of the midfield the midfield five with Dumfries and Pastore the wing backs and Zelinski, and then they did miss of Mkhitaryan was not in the squad as well. So you know what. Was not being on the squad as much because he was on the bench. He's got back on the bench, but again, Inter Milan always had found ways again.
It's called having a squad. isn't it?
Yeah,
Inter Milan have got an incredible squad for me. Starting 11 and even off the bench. Dot Upton's off the bench as well. DeMarco is my favourite player from Inter Milan. I think
yeah. I think
he's
Demarco's. Yeah, I think Demarco's quite. He's one of. But I like him as well. I think he's a good player as well. I really do like him. I think he fits the style what Inzaghi wants.
yeah, definitely. And I think uh, when I saw the last 16 tour, I looked at Inter Milan's path to the final, and I thought to myself, they're the best team on that other side of the tour for me. In terms of overall squad, the manager as well. The manager's a winner. Uh, he's he's got trophies on his CV already, and the previous C reached the final as well, Inter Milan. So they got that know-how as well, and very good defensively. I think in my predictions I had them to beat Barcelona in the semi-finals and reach the final. Against one of Real Madrid or Liverpool, in my opinion. Uh, and I don't see Bayern Munich. Uh, Bayern Munich, of course, is still Bayern Munich at the end of the day. But I fancy Inter against Bayern personally, and they just got that know-how in Milan. They got that experience, got the squad as well, and
Yeah.
they've not been spoke about Inter Milan as a potential winner
No, they
of
haven't, and that's
of the Champions
true.
League. For me, they're one of the favourites, in my
Yeah.
opinion.
No, I agree. I think no one's not talked about them, and we should give more props to them for how they still kept the squad. I think Zaggy's done better to get a bit more some more players coming through this past season as well. So got give Inzaghi some credit as well completely. Going on to Bayern Munich, Chris, they beat 3-0 against Bayer Leverkusen. Harry Kane scored 2 goals in the game, and Musala scored as well. Listen, they have won for the quarterfinals. It was a comfortable win. Do you think Leverkusen for them? We thought Leverkusen could be the dark horses, what we talked about early in the season. It's too much for them now, especially going into the second leg coming up this week. This week coming.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Yeah. I was shocked by Leverkusen's performance. I thought with the Bundesliga probably now done, that's probably going to be done back to Bayern Munich. I thought Leverkusen might have swung on his head, and Leverkusen might think to themselves, you know what, get some revenge in the Champions League and try and knock them out. And I think Leverkusen could be in trouble in the summer transfer window because all their key assets, they're going to be looking to leave, I reckon. The film words, Frimpon's got lead scores as well, which can be triggered, and Xabi Alonso as well. If Real Madrid don't win the Champions League, which Real Madrid are judged on, if Real Madrid don't win the Champions League, that's where I see Ancelotti will leave.
Yeah, there's
And
been talks about Ancelotti leaving, about going this season if they don't do what, not just the Champions League, but in La Liga as well. So there has been a lot of talks about that one. It's not surprised that this could bubble again over the summer if Alonso does leave Leverkusen. It's going to be interesting.
I mean, I did expect a drop off from the other twos in this season. They had an amazing season last season, of course. Being Bundesliga invincibles, almost winning the Europa League, but obviously they've beaten the final. And I think we saw that drop off in the day against Bayern Munich, where they weren't the same team as last season. But it happens. It happens. No one expected Everton to win it last season the way they did, and I think Alonso's done an incredible job there. But there's a lot of assets at Everton that will be on the point of an exit. From Wirtz being in for City and Real Madrid, and Frimpong. I can see Frimpong at Liverpool, especially with Trent. I think Trent is on door to Real Madrid. I've already accepted that,
Yeah,
and Xabi Alonso is obviously was lent to Real Madrid last season, and I still think there's noise in that as well.
there's always
especially with
noise.
how Real
There's
Madrid
always
do
noise
for
for
the
Real
rest of the
Madrid.
season.
Yeah, there's always noise for Real Madrid, and it won't be surprised again. The noise is going to start building up once Leverkusen's out the Champions League completely.
But I mean, it was always a tough 12 for Leverkusen, but also it's Bayern Munich. You can't rule out Bayern Munich just because of the name in the squad they have got. But I was disappointed in Leverkusen. I expected better from them. I expected at least Leverkusen to give them a run for the money in the asset scene.
Yeah, no, I agree as well. The one that did give run for money was the Madrid derby, Chris, and Real Madrid take the first leg by winning 2-1 as well. What a goal from Julian Alvarez! But Brahim Diaz scored in the 50th minute when Rigo scored the first goal. This is going to be a tight game going into the second leg at the at the Metropolitano Stadium. Chris, listen, Atletico Madrid is still in the game. They're still in this game. Do you see them try to pull off a huge win on Wednesday night? On Wednesday night,
Oh yeah, I think there's still got a huge chance. It's a Madrid derby. Form goes out the window in both home at Madrid, at Real Madrid, and both at Atletico Madrid as well. And I think Atletico Madrid, I think they'll take that result. If it was 3-1, too much of a bit that for me against Real Madrid. 2-1, you never know what can happen in the second year. Real Madrid would get a red card, all standards would go off, and it puts Madrid on the back foot potentially. And they only need one goal with Atletico. If they
two
get one goal,
easily.
defend that 1-0 lead, and all of a sudden you go
Yeah,
into potentially extra time.
yeah, well, that's true. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, get one goal, go to extra time, and I know Madrid's looking at Madrid's bench on the night. It was quite weak because they had a lot of players on the bench. I think they only had like six outfield players at least, maybe five or six. Wherever Madrid's got a full squad and they've got so it looks like this could be huge for us to see what happens this weekend in their prospective games this weekend coming in La Liga. But I think, like I said, if Atletico can get that one goal and take it to extra time, I think Atletico will have that advantage in the extra time.
Yeah, and when they do 1-0 off of Atletico, they're quite hard to break down. And and to be fair to Atletico, they can play different styles. They don't exactly park the bus in that either.
But
The
they've gone
the
away. They've gone away from that a little bit. They still defend, but they've gone away from that, being a little bit
yeah,
more attacking, which is quite rare for Simeone to do something like that because he's always been like defensive first. We'll do what we can, and that's it. And they're only like a point behind Barcelona in the La Liga table as well. So you know what? It's still all to play for.
it shows why he's still a good coach. Simeone, he can adapt. He can adapt to which team, what the opposition, what their style is, and Simeone, especially out of Atletico Madrid in that second year, he's going to be a proper jack in the box on the touchline, trying to claim for everything and all that. While Ancelotti, he won't get involved in that shenanigans. He's nice and cool and calm,
Yeah,
and I think there's going to be. I mean, that first year, honestly, the speed of that game, the goals as well, this unbelievable goals,
yeah,
all of them, and if this shows a difference in type of football from Spain to England for me, in my opinion. That's me probably dissing in this football, but a lot of people prefer La Liga because of how quick it is, one touch passing.
yeah. No, 100% as well. Good morning, Doug. I'm not blurry. Maybe just you anyway. So as I said, I'm crystal clear as a kind. Maybe just from your end anyway. So yeah. Good morning, Frost Zone. Hope you're well. Yeah.
Bit
Hope
of
you.
thoughts on.
Yeah. As well. Yeah. So the other results, Chris will quickly go through. Lille take a 1-1 draw against Borussia Dortmund into the second leg. Back to Lille next Wednesday. who else as well? Barcelona getting the win, I have to say, against Benfica. And listen, I don't know, I can't give much more praise for Rafinha, who's becoming the talisman after Barcelona's been down to 10 men. Rafinha is gone from strength to strength since he's left Leeds, and it just shows you why he's vital to that Barcelona side now as well.
He's one of their best players, apart from obviously the obvious Yamal and Lewandowski, and and we didn't see this happening with Rafinha when he new dies.
Yeah,
We all thought, oh, he's gonna have one season at Barcelona, then he'll go back to the Premier League because he doesn't. But he's been one of the best winners in the world, Rafinha, with his goal output as well, and he stepped up in that game against Benfica after having Barcelona with down 10 men as well, and and Barcelona Rafinha stepped up for Barcelona, and Yamal for me looks burnt out, and that's also a good thing why you got Rafinha as well to
oh
be
yeah,
that man to step up. And obviously, I was completely wrong on my prediction for Benfica Barcelona. I expected goals in the game, like in the lead phase, and it all ended up 1-0. So, but I think that's very good for Barcelona. It shows that they can defend the lead as well. Because uh, before this game, we were questioning Barcelona's defensive capabilities
yeah.
on winning this competition. They didn't score goals, Barca, but then also concede goals as well. So maybe they should go down to 10 men every game.
Absolutely, and yeah, they should do a bit more often as well. So, as I said, we're still waiting for the team news. Actually, we have got team news for the game at City Ground between Nottingham Forest and Man City. Nuno has named the same Nottingham Forest side after the drew to Arsenal 0-0 last time out in the Premier League. Pep has made two changes as well. So Phil Foden and Bernardo are coming for Omar Masuna and Mateo Kovacic. So Sells, Anya, Williams, Meglovic, Marino, Hudson Doi, Anderson, Gizwright, Dominguez, Alanga would all start for Forest. Edison's in goal with Nunes, Conservoch, Diaz, Graggio, Nico, Bernardo, Silva, Savinho, Phil Foden, Doku, and Haaland are back in the squad. But for Man City, and Grealish is on the bench. So yeah, and Chris Wood starts again for Nottingham Forest as well. So that is the team news for the 12:30 kickoff between Nottingham Forest and Man City. Let's go into Europa League now, Chris, and I want to discuss some really good results, especially for Rangers. To after what's been going on with them, you know, what a performance against Jose Mourinho's Fenerbahce away, winning 3-1. You know, you gotta give props to Barry Ferguson because he was coming in and thinking, my God, I'm here till the end of the season. There's a lot of pride at stake, and they stunned it to get that first leg to win on Thursday night.
Yeah, he's done well so far by Ferguson. The only negative about by Ferguson at the moment is the goals they concede, but apart from that, uh, brilliant result against Fenerbahce. No one saw that. I didn't see that coming at all because of Jose Mourinho's pedigree in these competitions as well. And Barry Ferguson, everyone was judging him, were already saying, oh, everyone was questioning him, thinking he's not the right man here. He's, for the short term, I understand it. It's still that question in the long term for me with Barry Ferguson, but so far so good. And Rangers already got 1 foot in the quarterfinals of the Europa League, and I don't think anyone predicted that with Jose Mourinho's pedigree. Uh, People can say Fenerbahce, they weren't that good. Well, the daughter was sold into Manchester United in the E-Thirds and as well, and it's still Jose as well, Jose Mourinho, and I think that was probably one of the results of the Europa League for me, the Europa League first year, in my opinion. and credit to Rangers. I think he's give them credit, and I know everyone can look down on Scottish football. Yeah, it's how Scottish football teams do in champions, in all European competitions.
Yeah,
But Rangers have shown in the past that they've didn't they reach the Europa League final in the past as well.
yeah,
I think it was against Frankfurt. I think it was.
yeah.
So maybe Europa League is probably the level for these top Scottish teams. Champions League is uh, probably a level above for the likes of Celtic and Rangers, but
I
Europa
think
League,
mainly Celtic, because Celtic needed,
yeah,
they got to the deep play against the knockout stages against Bayern Munich. I just think, look at when Hearts were in the Conference League, they missed out on getting to the knockout stages in the Conference League. It just, I think with Rangers, how they, they're still behind Celtic. I think we'll get to the next in by the end of next month. Well, by the start of next month, we should go for the postseason split and see where Rangers are. But because like I said, they should not be finishing below second at the moment. And I look, with Rangers going through a takeover through with the 49ers, without ownership, and if also a part of the consortium, I think it would make a huge difference for them, because they need this change so badly. What's been going on at Ibrox, because of them since the last one they got the Premiership in 2021 when Gerrard was there, and there's been talked about they want Gerrard back, but I just don't think that could work. I think Rangers need to look at of what they're trying to do as a club, because like I said, Rangers are still what, looking at here at the table, they're on 59 points, Celtics on 75. So they got second place comfortably well. But it's just going from next season what they do with the new ownership, as well as the new manager will come in and see what the strengths. When we spoke to Reese about that last week, it's a lot of changes that needs to happen at Ibrox to try to invest more heavily into the club.
yeah, definitely. I think they need to forget about the Gerrard thing. It can work once, but don't batter the same thing again doesn't mean it won't work again. And Gerrard, Gerrard for me, since he even went as his manager career has gone down the pan a bit for me.
Mm.
Didn't do too well at Aston Villa. What do you really want to take that with on a manager that's gone down the pan a bit in terms of his recent jobs since he even went as? For Gerrard, I think he needs to get a job in the Championship, like Frank Lampard.
I think Frank Lampard has proved us wrong completely now, and we'd expect,
Yeah,
yeah, but you're right. That could happen, and we'll see in time to come with that one. Let's move on to Manchester United. I'll come to Spurs after this, but Man United getting the draw against Real Sociedad. Do you think Man United could have done better? When they got the hell to the draw, and Joshua Search scored in the 57th minute, but Miko Obza scored through the penalty as well. Look, do you think Man United feel disappointed not winning this game? After the dominant game for almost an hour.
it's two poor teams for me. It's two poor teams. I expected it to be a 50-50 game, and it's the best out of a bad bunch for me. We also start they're outside. I've been there mid-table in the idea of the season, and Manchester United. We know how poor they are. The Manchester United is Manchester United. They just turn up whenever they want, and same old Yepers are still there. That through previous seasons under the bus. They don't do the same again with Ruben Amorim. But Ruben Amorim does need to take responsibility as well because he's trying to play his system that is not working for these current corporate players. And if you're a good coach, you should be able to adapt, in my opinion.
Mm.
Uh, I think United will scrape through in the second leg. Second leg at Old Trafford as well. I think it's more the fans going to trod them over the line. I don't think they're going to win the competition, United or Sociedad, whoever do go through. and they're just poor. We are poor. I was watching that game. Well, I was watching quite a lot of games because they're all at the same time, and I couldn't be bothered watching the United game. I was more focusing on the other games because they are that bad. Uh, Obviously, as a Liverpool fan, I am enjoying obviously this downfall of Manchester United, and but I'm an honest fan. I'm an honest football fan, and it's an absolute mess at Manchester United. But it has been for a decade, hasn't it? It's been real.
Yeah. Let's be honest, it has been awful the past decade as well. Let's go to Spurs. A Lucas Berger's own goal led to a flat Tottenham side losing the first leg against AZ Alkmaar 1-0. Chris, Spurs only had one good late shot on target and only two inside in AZ Xbox all night. It it just looked so poor for Spurs, and they just dictate. They just it just felt like they had much possession, but but AZ Alkmaar had five shots on target compared to Spurs' one.
Yeah, I was shocked by Spurs' performance. Obviously, we know Hans' style up here. I would have expected more chances created, and it's a hard one because I'm comparing Spurs and Man United, who's got more chance of going far in the tournament. I still think Spurs over United for me. Uh, but at the moment, both of them don't look like done through. Uh, because we don't know what's going to happen in the second yet between United and Solskjaer, and Spurs do it all to do to overturn that lead, and it's hard. I think I still expect Spurs to go through. I don't think Alkmaar were anything that great for me. Uh, but Alkmaar, they will take it. And you know what Alkmaar can do now? Then just defend that 1-0 lead. And now Spurs have the possession to try and break them down in the second yard. And yeah, like I said, I don't think Spurs or United are winning this competition. I just don't think they're good enough. Not good enough at the moment. They're not good enough for me. And I think I think that's down to the media as well. I don't know why the media keep making out United and Spurs are the top two favourites when they walk the league. Had they not watched Lazio or had they not watched Bilbao, uh, Bilbao for me are the who's favourites for me to win this competition.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Even though Bilbao lost 2-1 late against Roma in Stadio on Thursday night, and Lazio winning 2-1 away at Vittorio Pelson. Olympiacos lost 3-0 away at Bodo Glimt. Eintracht Frankfurt, I think they're probably my dark horses. They won 2-1 against Ajax as well. Seeing here, see the results as well. Uh, Leon beat FCSB 3-1. Yeah, so it's really interesting that one and how the second leg goes in. I think Bilbao they have to turn that turn that took that one goal deficit against Roma next Thursday night as well. Let's go into the Conference League briefly, Chris. Only for one English team, Chelsea did have a shot on target in the first half, but they won 2-1 after the minute of the restart. Listen, we know Chelsea have had some injuries last week. They're slowly getting back to them from what they were before the festive period. It, it's for the if it's winning the Conference League for them so crucial for them for their sake if they miss out on Champions League football next season.
Oh, that's a good question because for me, we've already seen Mainz dead set for even winning the trophy. Is Let's say Chelsea finish outside top four, which is probably likely at the moment, and they win the Conference League, which they should win, in my opinion, with all due respect. I think the only team that can probably stop them is Fiorentina. Uh, I don't think that's enough for Moretza to keep a shot. Because you know what? In English football these days, we don't judge it on trophies, we're now judging it on
Yeah,
yeah, the Eid performance as well, and that's another thing that's probably wrong within this football these days, where we're just discounting the trophies. Like, I mean, now Ten Hardy won 2 trophies at United, and but they were still criticising him for the Eid performance, which is understandable, definitely. Uh, but the name of the game in football is to win a trophy. In my eyes, for me, in my eyes, if you're EFL, it's obviously promotion,
yeah.
etc. And no one remembers who finishes second
Or
to
third, or yeah,
to
yeah, yeah.
17th. We all remember who gets the trophy, each trophy for me. Uh, but I expect Chelsea to reach the final. That's what I'm consistent at Yates. I do think they'll play Fiorentina in the final for me.
Yeah, I think we're looking at what a few teams last season. They didn't win it again. It just they didn't win it after they got to the final last season. And then the few teams lost 3-2 away at Panathinaikos, which is going to be interesting if they can overturn that. Real Betis drew 2-2 against Victoria Gramales. Yeah, I think Chelsea and probably a few teams, one of the teams on Real Betis, are favourites to win. Actually, Chris, we just got a question from Doug. Actually, and this is what I was going to come on to you about Kobe Mainoo. There's been news about him talking to Guardian that he might be leaving, he might not be part of the project. Is he worth £150,000 a week?
Straight answer, no, for
No.
me.
Yeah, I think it's a bit early. You know what? And I think look what Man United did with what's happened with Max Rashford. You give him probably the biggest contract of Patrick, and then you let him go to Aston Villa alone. I think he's going to be one of those players that could be gone in the summer because of what's the financial situation. But I don't think he's worth 150,000 a week at the moment.
Unfortunately for him, I think he's been a little bit of a hype player. A little bit overhyped, only a little bit.
Not much, but yeah, but I know what you say.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he was done in the hero towards, wasn't he? And
yeah,
uh, this season's form, not for me. He's not worth 150k a week. Uh, I don't think he's ever been worth that for me. Even when that hype, when he broke through that first team at Man United, I still don't think he was worth it. In my opinion, because it was too early in his career, and it still is for me. It still is.
yeah, absolutely. Well, in the news, in the Guardian news that came out just late even that he's plans to reject the Man United's contract extension and will move abroad. United are open to a sale about £70 million, and Douglas, I think him and Garnacho are gone in the summer. I think that is a
Yeah,
foregone conclusion
I
now.
I think the Nacho was down to Chelsea.
I think he will. I think Chelsea's the only obvious choice there. Him
There's
and
not a
Sancho,
chance he is down to Napier. Not a chance.
no,
It's if he does to Napier, he'll be on the first right back to England
yeah,
because of the way Napier fans, the fans over there in Italy, they have huge standards. And you put in a bad performance consistently, the Nacho won't nacho on.
yeah. Yeah, I agree as well. And Doug agrees with us as well. Agrees with you, 100%. Yeah, because Millionaire's on £20,000 a week, and he wants to implement for his team. But like I said, I don't think he's worth 150,000 a week. I think that's way above. And like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if he goes abroad. And I don't know where. That's gonna be the question. Do you think somewhere like Germany or probably Italy more likely he's obvious choices? I think Spain's out the question with that one because of with only the only one team that could well finance is Real Madrid, but they're not going to happen. So
For, I think the Nacho stay in the Premier League for me.
yeah,
Uh, Whichever club it is, it would stay in the Premier League because English fans are different to the fans abroad in, in terms of standards. English fans seem to be brainwashed more by PR and all that. And I don't know about Mainu. I don't know what's going to happen with Mainu.
who Doug's got this? Maybe Atletico Madrid. I could see something like that happen actually. Now thinking about that, probably Atletico Madrid. Yeah,
I think Mainu would be good at a Dortmund.
yeah. See, Dortmund's see that's the thing because Dortmund's always good, especially Wapu Sancho. When they brought him back on loan, it made a huge difference. So I think most of our English players do quite well in Germany because there's less criticism over there compared to us
It
here.
all depends if Dortmund want to pay the 150k a week. Who knows? It might be a loan deal. You never know.
Yeah, good. Yeah, no, it's gonna be an interesting topic about Menu or and Garnacho as well this summer. Chris is good. We're gonna be keeping an eye on that across the summer as well, or where they do go as well. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting time to tell. Um, Chris, we have to talk about the ridiculous of FIFA of wanting expanding the World Cup in 2030 to 64 teams. Give you your reaction. I just can't see this working with 64 teams in one tournament.
The sport we all love. It's just getting more mental and mental and mental, and it's the sport we all love is just slowly dying at the moment. Of course, we've all loved the U Champions League format, haven't we? I think we've all loved it. To be fair, uh, with all the we've seen shots, but when is enough done be enough? Yeah, it's done be constant. Even though I don't like people going on about us too many days, blah blah blah. But it is 64 teams. You don't be playing what Premier League teams will be playing what 40 odd games. Well, more than
38
40 odd
games
games,
plus
depending
eight,
how far you
yeah,
go in
eight
hooping
Champions League games, yeah,
competitions.
plus eight Champions League games, some put but 5 or 6 League Cups and bloody and a few FA Cups. It's getting beyond a joke now of. And it's good. It's questions about the player welfare and going into 2030 onwards. Are you telling me we're going to have bigger squads to deal with this when players might not even get a chance? Yes, we've got a 25-man squad, but you're telling me we're gonna have to expand the squad? Is that what you want so people see more
This
football?
it's just a mess, honestly. It's a mess, and the the thing is, though, they only care about one thing. We all know that, and
Yeah,
that's money, revenue, and it's the same in all sports, isn't it? It's always been about money for
yeah,
decades.
no. Except, well, yeah, do you know, it's always about money. Except, I don't, except in rugby league because I think rugby
Yeah,
league different. Because I think I don't know if you watched the Las Vegas game last weekend. I think rugby league needs a huge boost because it's still like it is. You and me are growing with rugby league within Northern England, and that's always been we've tried to grow the game in the south because it's rugby union, and I think rugby league needs a bit of better because we've got good quality players in rugby league who don't get the you know the they not the experience of the players, but like the presence in the media compared to what the Premier League footballers and all the other footballers, footballers in other sports, other sports as well. They don't get the same exposure compared to us. So
it's just it's just ridiculous, but it's not surprising. Let's be real.
yeah,
It was predictable that every competition uh, is always going to get expanded with more games, especially as well. As much as we've loved the new Champions League format, that's been expanded with the amount of games as well.
yeah, yeah. No, I agree with that as well. I got some positive news, Chris, for the rest of the other home nations. The BBC have now got to show all World Cup qualifiers for all the men's team of Scotland, Wales, and North Ireland lied, and finally they got a deal to agree to this. Should all the compared to us as England fans, we get to watch our games on ITV because it's part of the protected events. Should all the home nations fixtures should be all on the protected list of events for sure on free to air for every city for all the four corners around the UK.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, I saw the one about Scotland. They're going to be getting. I think they got BBC. Is it
They got
Scotland?
BBC, so
Yeah,
so has Wales and Northern Ireland. So it
yeah.
should,
That's good for all the home nations. And I think some foreign countries have their own like podcasts where
yeah,
they have their own games as well. It's the way forward for me. It's the way forward. None of this having to pay a subscription to watch your own country for me.
yeah, absolutely. Especially the demise of iPlay. which affected it, and somehow it was sold on individual rights. But at least we've got this resolved, and hopefully long term in the future they'll keep all the home nation games free to air. That includes Scotland, Wales, and North Ireland because that is vital for if you want young generations to see their team watching on free to air and being behind on a paywall. It's huge for all four corners of the British Isles completely.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And even the two, Northern Ireland and Republic of Ireland as well.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely, yeah, I agree with that as well. Right, you know what, Chris? We'll briefly talk about the Premier League predictions, but let's talk about the Man United Arsenal game tomorrow. It's huge for both of these teams, especially where they are both at the moment. We know that there's no Patrick Dogu; he's serving a 3 match ban. No Harry, might not be no Harry Maguire and Mario Ugarte. Chido Obi is eligible, because he could feature a bit being eligible on Thursday night's game. Where did you think this is going to go? Because we know there's going to be a protest between both clubs tomorrow, both fan groups tomorrow for both Man United and Arsenal due to the recent the ticket price and stuff. It, this is going to be a very interesting game for both sides coming up.
Yeah, it will be. Everyone expects Arsenal to still win, despite their injuries and how poor Manchester United are. For me, start a trolling all over it. I'm not convinced Arsenal can back up that PSV performance. I've seen Arsenal for the whole season now, where they have one good performance, and then the next game it's done down to the normality. Then it's a bit hot and cold and inconsistent Arsenal throughout the whole season, which is why they're not winning the league this season, and they fell away for me in the end. And Manchester United, they're at home, and the fans will be behind them. Uh, it's one of them, isn't it? It's one of the, it's one of them. It will either end in a stinky 0-0 or a 1-0 either way, or we see really dull. You know, it's just one of them games for me, and I won't be shocked if Arsenal do exit. But it doesn't change anything for Arsenal. It still doesn't mean they're gonna win the league for me.
Yeah,
Uh, I think for me, I think it's sort of 1-1 draw with no over.
yeah, I do as well. I've gone for the 1-1 draw as well, completely as well, mate. I just can't see this game excite everyone. It's just gonna be an old shootout, just one, just a I think it's a bit boring to quite. It'll be a bit of a boring game because of where the teams are. So I just can't see it happening as well. Actually, I go for a 1-1 draw, mate. I completely agree with that one. Actually, um, West Ham against Newcastle. This is Newcastle's last game before the Carabao Cup final. Are you shocked how they got the older men after they got to the Carabao Cup final? They have been struggling. They lost 2-1 last weekend to Brighton in the FA Cup, where they should have won that, and especially with Anthony Gordon's. And I'm going to come to Anthony Gordon. Do you think because he's now been banned for the Carabao Cup final, do you think there should be a change in also the way if you get red carded in like the cup competition, it should only affect just that cup competition rather than across all the uh, free like the competitions.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I agree with that. I think it was the FA Cup. Yeah, it was the FA Cup, wasn't it, where he got sent off, and that should only count for the FA Cup. But obviously, Newcastle got knocked out, so I don't think it should matter with his suspension. I think it should carry on until when Newcastle play the next FA Cup game, which will be obviously
Right.
next year.
Yeah,
Next year now,
exactly. Yeah.
and that's what should happen for me. It's a bit like a bit like Arne Scott as well. I think it happens with the managers as well, where it depends on the. I think he was on a tough sign with Southampton, the Carabao Cup,
Yeah.
and I think it should just count for that contest and not count for Premier League Cup because they're different competitions
Yeah,
for me. Newcastle, I think the injuries have come at the one time for Newcastle. I think Isak should be okay for the final. I
yeah,
think they expected that. Uh, Getting injuries before that final, getting them at the one time, and the suspensions as well.
yeah. No, it's interesting that one. Actually, briefly, I wanted to talk about what happened last week. Crystal Palace against Millwall. Lee Waters had his 3 match ban extended 6 games. Is that the right decision by the FA from the way for that dangerous tackle and get on John Philippe Mateta, who should be playing later on today? And are you surprised how the Millwall? Well, we're not surprised in the Millwall fans. Are you surprised how when the game against Bristol City they did the applause for him in the 21st of his number 13? They applauded him despite the fact, you know, the way he launched into that tackle on last Saturday.
Well, for me, the tackle, I think it's the right ban in terms of the tackle for me. I don't agree with the boost that was given to him. That this oversteps the mark for
Yeah.
me. Because it's football, these chances happen, and it was a stupid chance. He didn't really need to go in like that. And in terms of Millwall fans applauding, it, I'm not aiming this at all Millwall fans,
No.
but there's a few Millwall fans where you're not really shocked by it, really. It, they don't care, Millwall. That's always been their saying. The Millwall fans said they don't care about anyone. They just basically got that bring it on mentality, basically. And so I wasn't really shocked by the applause. We've seen it in the past in football. We've seen it with Liverpool, haven't we? Where with Suarez, the t-shirts when
Yeah.
he wears the boots, Patrice Evra, and that's when we obviously Liverpool overstepped the mark on that as well, and
Mm.
even some of the fans as well. So we've seen it before in football where they didn't act. Yeah, immature is probably the best word.
Yeah, probably is the best word. That's how I can think about it, mate. Completely. Do you know what? Let's go for our predictions before we get onto your Carlisle and see what we'll talk about later on today. Man City away, not in first. I could see Man City Asian just one winning 2-1 today. I just think, Man City. They're now listen. Are they favourites to the FA Cup? It's hard to tell, but are they favourites to get into the top four? Probably yes, because they need to get into the top four. I think Man City will win this one 2-1. And I know Doug went for the same scoreline as me as well. So yeah, I'm going for Man City to win 2-1.
If anyone does win it, I would agree. I do think it'll be Man City. Uh, I've done for a 1-1 draw. I think Forest City aren't great defensively. I do think Forest can store past them. But Forest are one of them teams where once they store, if they go 1-0 off, for example, they'll just sit on that lead.
Yeah.
And I do still see City scoring as well with the scored at dot. So I've done for 1-1 in that one.
All right. Brighton against Fulham. I've gone. Doug's gone for 2-1. I've for Brighton. I've gone for 2-0 win for Brighton.
Yeah, I agree with Dodd. I've done for 2-1 Brighton as well.
It's a close
For
game. It's a close
Fulham,
game. Yeah.
Fulham are a weird team for me where every season, first half of the season, they do well. Then second half of the season, you just see that drop off from them. And but they got a good opportunity for them in the FA Cup to go on a deep one.
Yeah.
And close game, but I think Brighton heads at 2-1.
All right. Okay. I think we've all gone for this foregone conclusion. Next game, Crystal Palace gets Ipswich. Uh, Doug's gone 3-1 for Palace. I've gone 3-0 for Palace.
Yeah, I agree with you, Carl. I've done for 3-0 Pirates. I think Ipswich has just resigned now for me to going down. I
Yeah.
think all three new promoted teams are probably resigned to going down now for me.
Yeah, I agree as well. And do you know what, Chris? I'm hopefully at the end of the season we'll discuss. We'll hopefully get you on and a bunch of other guys to discuss the gap of the Premier League and the EFL, especially because if it's going to be Leeds and Sheffield United be one of the two teams come up, or Burnley, and then the other rest of the teams, as to how they're going to cope with that next season, because it's going to be interesting debate with the financial situation as well, because the gap is now. I think for both teams, it's hard for them to stay up now, especially how Forest has done it in the last two seasons and now they're in the top four. So I think that's going to be an interesting topic that we will all discuss at the end of the season. So you can join us on that one because I will do a season review at some point.
Yeah, definitely. And I think I think this is a thing everyone wants Yeats to come up because they think I think we all think Yeats can definitely be like another Nottingham Forest this season. Like not this season, but obviously when Nottingham Forest came up, where they stay up and then surely progress up the table. I think Yeats are best place to do that. Uh, Obviously, I think Sheffield United and Burnley is going to be the same old story then, where they go up, then go back down, then go up again.
Yeah, yeah, no, yeah, I agree with that one as well. Right, I think this is a quick score with this one. I'm giving Liverpool to win 5-0 against Southampton. Doug's gone 4-0 as well for Liverpool as well.
I've seen it before as a Liverpool fan where we expect to win this game 4-5 now and it ends up being like 2-1 or something like that. And we all remember at Southampton in the reverse fixture, everyone was saying the same thing and we won 3-2. And But yeah, Anfield at home, I think it'd be same as the Ipswich game where I think it will be a training session for Liverpool. And I've done for a 5-0 win as well.
Actually, can I ask you this? Do you think Danny Rowe will be the best replacement once Southampton get relegated? Because we all know that there has been some deals agreed with both Southampton and Sheffield Wednesday that he could go to this up to St Mary's, go down to St Mary's next season. Do you think that that's a good perfect replacement for especially for Iran Uric? He's out of his depths, and we can see why he got sacked at Roma. I think Danny Rowe should have been the right man at the time, or if you're not, kept Russell Matt until the end of the season.
Yeah, I think he's got championship experience, hasn't he? He knows what the championship is about.
And he knows the
This
club quite
Moorish
well because
doesn't.
he knows the club quite well because he was there
Yeah.
under Ralph Hasenhuttl. So, yeah.
And obviously, I felt they should have kept Russell Martin for the whole season because he could get you back up. Uh, but but yeah, for me, Danny Rowe will be the right replacement, prepare for the championship this season, and see what he can do in the transfer window. He could potentially be have the same impact as Hassan Hutel did.
Yeah. Yeah, I do agree with that as well. The other draw, other than Man United and Arsenal, this is the other draw I've gone for. A 2-2 draw between Brentford and Aston Villa. Doug's gone for Aston Villa win 2-1.
I've I've done for a draw as well. I've done for a 1-1 draw. Brentford, once a bit like Forest, once they take the lead, Brentford, they do sit on the lead as well.
Mm.
Fear always look had they done a concede goal. I still think they're a bit iffy defensively. Fear,
I think the better attacking with when you have
yeah,
Asensio and Rashford now up front, I think that's been a huge difference that they needed a bit of a boost completely.
but yeah, it's still a tough game for Fear away at Brentford, who've been strong at home this season.
Yeah.
So I think it'd be a 1-1 draw.
Okay. I've gone for Everton to win 3-1 at Molineux today against Wolves. Doug's gone the same way with a 2-1 win for the Toffees.
Oof. You know what? I've done for completely different. I've done for a 1-1 draw. Here, I think Wolves are different when they're at home. They're the most wonder with the home form than they are away from home. And Everton, at the moment, I just don't see Everton using at the moment. They're in great form, apart from probably the FA Cup against Bournemouth. They've been
Yeah.
in good form. So I can see a 1-1 draw. It's still a tough yes door to Wolves.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, and especially, you know what? And Everton just got the biggest news. They have now agreed deal with Leeds to bring Angus Kinnear, who the CEO is going to be joining them in the summer. So it's a huge plus for Everton to try to with the new strategic plan of going forward into the new stage, and also the future of the club under Darren Moyes as well. So that was huge for Everton this past week as well. I can see this is another one-sided game, another quick score game at Stamford Bridge. I've gone for 4-0 for Chelsea to beat Leicester. Doug's gone for 5-0 for
Yeah, I've done for a comfortable 3-0 win to Chelsea.
Yeah, I just as I was speaking to Chris from Leicester Till I Die last week, it just sounds like what's been going on at the club. It's just been a huge mess, and I know there's going to be more protests going on in the course of the season for Leicester. It's just for Van Nistelrooy, he's taking the ship down with him. So to be quite honest with you, I just can't see this Leicester side getting back
Yeah,
up
it
to what it
shows,
was
doesn't it?
before. Yeah,
It shows what was it, 1 year ago? Well, almost 1 year. Sorry, 1 decade ago.
yeah,
They were Premier League champions.
I know. Who would you fought it? And it's that's and then they won the FA Cup just about four years ago. So yeah, bloody hell, time has
It just shows, doesn't it, that ownerships can one stale for me.
yeah, no, I agree with that as well. We talked about Man United as already. Spurs against Bournemouth. Both me and Doug go for 2-1 win for Bournemouth.
I've done for a 1-1 draw in this one. If anyone does win it, you would fancy Bournemouth to win it. But I fancy a draw in this one. I've done for a 1-1 draw.
All right. And then Monday's night game. I think Newcastle will still be a bit of a situation. I think West Ham have been a little bit more better on the Graham Potter, and I've gauged them to win 1-0, just a 1-0 win. Doug's gone for 2-0 for the Hammers.
I've done I've done for a 1-1 draw. I just don't see West Ham using under Graham Potter. I don't, well, especially seeing the recent games as well, and comparing both of their forms as well. I don't see Newcastle winning, but I don't see West Ham using. So I haven't be a draw 1-1.
Okay, all right then. Yeah, no, I appreciate that, Chris. Actually, let's talk about your local team, Carlisle. I'm just gonna get up. I'm just gonna get up there how they're running form as well. So, I know you got Harrogate Town today, but you got the draw against Walsall. You know, this past week on Tuesday night. Listen, look at the table. You're only 3 points behind Tranmere at the moment, and you've the last 5 games you've had one draw, uh, three draws, one win and one loss. As a bit, and you still got a game in hand as well. So, how huge is this game today at Harrogate Town?
Very big. It's a winner. I think it is a winnable game for Carlisle. How they haven't done nothing to play for now. They don't be safe, and they're not really going to finish any higher than mid-table. And but how they'll still be professional throughout the rest of the season. And since Mark Hughes has came in, we've always been in every game. We've always had a chance in every game. Always stayed in every game as well, which probably makes me and some Carlisle fans probably more confident because he's staying in games under Mike Williams and just don't get me started, honestly. And but we've never beaten Howder in our history. It's always been a curse of a game for us. Whether it's been postponements, whether it's been whenever we've done well, we always seem to come off stuck over there as well, or against them, home and away. And but records are there to be broken. Bradford didn't win at Carlisle for what decades, and they
Yeah,
eventually did in the end. So records can be broken, and I still have my doubts whether we'll stay up, but we're in there. We have a chance. Morecambe, I thought Morecambe would stay up easy, but they've been having hot and cold results
yeah,
as well. Tranmere, I think Tranmere are in big trouble.
Yeah, do you know what? I think the only thing that Tranmere does stay up, it'll be huge because they will get the new ownership of the rapper ASAP Rocky, who luckily recently, just a couple weeks ago, was found not guilty for one of his trials. He's looked like he's gonna be coming in to try to buy the club. That could change, but if they go down, I can't see him taking over the club. You know, with his consortium, it's gonna be really tough for Tranmere to go down. I think you're right about Tranmere could be that team that could go down this season.
So I do think it is between us and Morecambe for that final safety spot for me. Maybe Atherton can maybe get dragged down into it, but I think Atherton only need one more win, and I think they'll be okay.
Yeah, yeah, and just listen. And after the game today, you've got three home games on the trot. You got Wimbledon on the 15th, Bromley the 22nd, and MK Dons on the 25th of March. I think these are really good for you that you're playing at home, and these next three games after today, all games at home, which is vital for you guys.
Yeah, it's been that's another difference. Mark Hughes, even if we didn't win them games, he's already been having that connection with the fans, and our first win obviously came in the so-called Cumbria derby, even though Barrow in Lancashire, but yeah, okay. Uh, but we got that win against Barrow, his first win. Good point in midweek against the leaders, Walsall
Yeah,
as well. And even though that game was probably there to win against Walsall, because Walsall been don't know what's happened to them. They were
no,
well
they
clear.
really so they let Bradford come back, slowly get back into the title race now, which is a bit surprising because they were a bit ahead of Bradford a few weeks ago compared to the last couple of games now.
It's similar to Leicester in the Championship last season where they had that gap compared to the PLPSs
Yeah,
and now they're towards the gap more. So I don't know what's happened to them. Maybe complacency, maybe burnt out.
yeah.
But I think Walsall will be fine still. I don't know if they'll win the league now.
No,
I
I
think,
think I think it's in Bradford's favour now. I really
yeah,
do. I really do now. I think Bradford have been the best informed team the last couple of weeks. I think they will win. I think Bradford will win it. Pip Walsall to it.
it's
I
been a
think.
long time coming for Bradford. Like
Yeah,
it's been a season of failure in past seasons, and it's about time now they went back up. Too big for you two.
I
They
agree.
do have a bit of a weird rivalry with us on social media. Just don't dare it, but yeah, okay.
Well, it will be good for the rivalry if, for example, looking at this moment out in League One, with Huddersfield Town being a bit of free fall in the last couple of games, I can see West Yorkshire Derby in League One next season. I don't think Huddersfield Town has just not been good enough this season. I really don't think they lost to Wrexham, you know, on what this past midweek. So I was watching a game, but I just think Huddersfield Town have just not been good enough this season. I don't think they were one of the teams that could be trying for promotion, but I think there's better teams like Charlton has been on a good run of form. Stockport been on off the last couple of games. Wrexham still 2 points behind Wickham, but I think, like I said, Birmingham's already winning that league completely. They're pissing the league completely. So I just think Huddersfield Town could miss out because I think both have been the
Um,
best informed team at the moment.
and what I would say about Yeed one, it debunks the myth that it's a hard Yeed, it's a tough Yeed for these youth promoted clubs. Well, out on Stockport and Wrexham could be on the print of them back-to-back promotions potentially,
Yeah,
and debunks that myth. And Carlisle fans told me, "Oh, we can't stay up in League One," and well, we could have. I'm not being funny, Burton, yeah, it's a Burton, Cambridge. I didn't really see them as anything special, and if Carlisle would have got their act together, we could have easily stayed up. People say, well, next season versus now this season would have been more tougher. We don't know that because we would have the budget, and we have a League One budget, and this is the thing. I'm still torn all season out whether we stay up or not. I think it's an absolute disgrace for me. With a League One budget,
yeah.
and the aim is to be promoted, and you're in the bottom two.
Yeah, no, I agree as well. I agree with that as well, especially if you've got a League One budget in a League Two, that you question yourself. You should be buying yourself for be to be better than that, not to be struggling. So yeah, yeah, it's a hard one actually. It really is. You know, Chris, as it's coming up to half 12, I thank you for so much for joining me as well. I appreciate you joining me in time. I hope you're not going to be too busy today, and hopefully it's not going to be too stressful for you if Carlisle. Well, see how Carlisle does at Harrogate today, but hopefully for Liverpool it will help you a bit more, especially. So, but thank you very much, Chris, for your time, and I'll hopefully see you again next week as well too. Yeah, so this is the end of the show. Thank you guys for watching. If you want to watch the show, please subscribe, and like, and hit the notification bell on our YouTube channel for any upcoming content. I am going to be back on hopefully tomorrow night, I think, to do the championship review with Michael and Annie, hopefully as well. So we'll talk about all the games as well. And Chris, yes, uh, appreciate that. Uh, you know, so appreciate it as well. And have a good weekend, mate. And yeah, for everyone, all of you have a good weekend. Chill out. It's a nice summer day in Edinburgh, wherever you are. Have a good day out. And if you're going anywhere, if you're watching football or the rugby or whatever, also have a safe travels as well. But I am back on the same time next week at 11 a.m. here on the Saturday show. And then hopefully we'll have Doug on next week. But all of you have a good weekend. Take it for now. Bye bye.